till I put on the mask.
This one's pretty good, I just forgot to make eye holes.
Got attacked by birds in the parking lot.
Best one yet, but not super breathable. Who knew a pot lid would work?
Didn't think about...
What's photosynthesis?
So, photosynthesis,
Plants.
photosynthesis, just to explain it quickly and easily to you guys, is the process by which green plants and some other organisms use sunlight to synthesize foods from carbon dioxide and water. So, next question.
Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of this episode 4?
I believe so.
Episode 4, Youth Group Live. We're making it happen, trying to keep everybody going. Hopefully you had a great week. I got to tell you, I'm a little fired up.
Why is that?
I don't know, I just am.
You just ready to go today?
I'm ready to go. We've got a lot of good
Very
people
good.
here tonight. We got a fun show planned. We've got, we've called this the sponsor edition.
Yes.
So we've got some sponsors
In the
here. We've been giving away stuff like crazy for the last 3 weeks. We're going to do some more of that. The Wheel of DoorDash, I'll talk about that one here in just a moment. Some other giveaways. I think tons of fun coming their way. Tonight, more than ever, you need to interact in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Eric just found where that was tonight.
I just found the chat,
So,
and it looks like a lot of fun, so go out and do that.
yeah, lots of ways. Don't just sit there and do nothing, like watch, but then also participate, be involved. Lots of fun things going on tonight. We want you to comment in the chat, say hello, say hi to people, participate in some competitions and whatnot. And so let's see who we got. We got Laura. Thanks, Laura. Zeke, Ray, Dakota, Josie, Maddie, Riley, Eli, Gita. It's awesome. We're glad you're here. We just want to say welcome to Youth Group Live. All right, we're going to get things going. Like we said, we got a jam-packed show tonight. Very first thing we want you to do, we want you to take a picture of where you're watching this from. We only did this the very first week,
Right.
okay? So take a picture from where you're watching and then tag us on our Instagram page, okay? Do you know where Instagram is yet?
Tag it, Instagram. I think I know what we're talking about.
You're starting to get the flow.
Yeah.
We want you to post a picture where you're watching it from. Maybe you're watching it with somebody and tag us on Instagram. Start doing that now. We got some other things that we've talked about. We came to you this last week. We love the audience.
Yep.
We love the people.
Yeah.
And we said, what do you want for DoorDash tonight? What can we give away food-wise that you want? Because we love you. And we got a wide variety of things. You see some of these things here?
I saw the
Anything
the
stick
list.
out to you?
Salad.
Salad.
Salad. I've
Salad.
always been told salad is not a meal. It's a promise that a meal is coming. But if people like salad, I'm all for that as well.
I'm not sure how. Yeah, I suppose we could do a salad. I mean, I don't know how many people would be like super pumped about, hey, it's salad night.
Or where is it coming from?
Well, it could come from a lot of places. Wendy's?
I
They got everything. By the way, Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets are the best. We had some other ideas. People just said cookies. What do you just want a
Absolutely.
dozen cookies delivered? What do you
maybe
think
from
about it?
maybe from my mom. She
From your mom?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if she does DoorDash, but we'll find out. If I'm going to do Instagram, Sandy can do DoorDash.
I see Sandy and DoorDash all in the same sentence.
You see?
I think it could work. I'm saying it could work.
Yeah.
Sandy, DoorDash, she'd be all about it.
she'd be, yeah.
Yeah, we had pizza. We already done pizza. Sandwiches, that was kind of broad. Just, hey, sandwiches.
Right.
I don't know if they meant like subs or, I don't know. Poncheros.
I noticed you're poncheros, not pancheros.
Okay, do you know this actually goes back a long ways in our youth group?
I didn't know that.
You did or you didn't?
I didn't.
This has long been a discussion. I've always been a Pancheros guy.
Yeah.
And I had all these people, kind of the Pancheros snobs. I'll call them, love you, I love you. They'd be like, it's Pancheros.
How do they figure?
I don't know.
There's definitely an A, not an O.
Who decided?
I
So
don't
you're
know.
a Pancheros guy?
I'm Pancheros,
I'm swinging
yeah.
back.
I'm
Okay, I'm back to
Panchero. Awesome.
Pancheros, everybody.
Awesome.
I'm back to Pancheros. Okay. But then the other one that was submitted that we grabbed onto was wings.
Yeah.
Wings.
Absolutely.
A lot of good option of wings
Can't
in
go
the
wrong
greater Ankeny. This is good. I see people tagging us on Instagram. That's awesome. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Eli. A few other people there. That's great. So we'll talk about who's going to get DoorDash wings delivered in just a little bit.
Okay.
Again, we have a lot of different video things tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed a little Dude Perfect as you were logging on. We showed a few clips from their latest deal. We got some funny videos we're going to show in a minute, some trick shot videos. We've got another segment with 60 seconds with me. I should make you do that one time. 60 seconds with Eric. That'd be fun.
That I would be talking to you, or that someone would be talking to me?
One of the students would be talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
60 seconds with Eric.
I love that.
60 seconds with Silas.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a segment.
Yeah,
that
I like
would
that.
Be good.
Let's
That's
think
good.
about, make a note.
Yeah.
And then we've got a few things about small groups, then we'll get to our sponsor panel here. We're like 3 minutes behind schedule. We got to pick up the pace. Okay, let's go to some fun videos. I think I've got some good things selected here. This first one's actually just a meme, though. How long are you going to wait before Jen cuts your hair? Has she cut your hair already?
I just did recently.
Oh, really?
Thanks for noticing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice.
Boy, some people. I can only go about 3 weeks because I want to have the Zoom haircut where I don't have to do my hair before any call for work. I can just, this is what it looks like when I wake up.
Do you ever go ball cap for Zoom, work?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
I don't.
Do you ever go ball cap?
I never go ball cap.
You used to back in the day.
I did back in the day.
So I just there's a lot of things I look forward to. One of them would be just a haircut. Yeah. And I kind of wonder what people are going to look like. We found a few pictures here of what people may look like when they come back to youth group. Students showing up at youth group with quarantine haircuts. So if your mom has cut your hair, or your dad, or a family member, whoever, or maybe your sibling, we'd love to hear about it. Those are some really good haircuts. We've got a lot of mullets, business in the front.
Party out back.
Party in the back. So
right.
that's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Okay, so now my son and I have gotten big into Dude Perfect. You watch much of Dude Perfect?
I've watched it.
And I think a lot of students do as well. We've tried a few trick shots ourselves, and we're not doing too bad.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a couple proud dad moments just through all of it, so it's been a lot of fun.
Good.
So this wasn't on Dude Perfect, but I think this would totally fit. I'd love to see one of our students try this. So take a look at this pink.
Hate my school.
Yes, let's go!
That's pretty
That's
good.
nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Maybe you and the girls. You and
We
all
could
your
try
kids
that.
try
We
it.
could try that.
Okay.
Maybe make the pots and pans like play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something. That'd be like the next level of that.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Let's go to this next one. Do you like heights?
No. I don't like heights, to answer your question, and nor do I like biking. So this is kind of the combo of the both. I think the last time I did anything biking-wise was like a 5-mile thing for the Baptist Children's Home, and I only made it like 2 miles because I was only 8. And so this, that's very impressive to me.
The heights, like my palms just got sweaty watching that.
I'm nervous about that.
This next one is actually footage that I found of you this last week. I know that you've been really trying to work out a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're going crazy.
I work out almost every year. I really do. I try to do it yearly.
Teach me your ways, but this is footage just last You're good.
That is pretty good. Is he wearing socks?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. He's comfortable. Like he's
Yeah.
just kind of in socks, just hanging out, just ripping the iron.
It's
that's
leg day and
unbelievable.
arm day all wrapped into one.
I would at least have a back brace or something.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
thought that was a fun one. This last one is the Don't Try This at Home.
Okay.
It's pretty fun. It involves 2-liter soda. Let's take a look here. What do you think?
That's amazing.
Most of these videos I don't show Eric ahead of time because I just want his general reaction.
Yes, and I appreciate that so much. Do we know how he got the soda to? Is it like Mentos, or is that too 90s?
I don't know. You built up a lot of pressure, and you know.
Just let him
my
rip?
favorite part is after he catches it in the end zone. There, he kind of spikes it. But that was pretty fun. So,
Yeah.
okay, this next little segment here we've entitled "What Is It?" And this is not live, but this was footage taken of one of our small groups this last Saturday. So Eli, Dakota, Michael, Zach, you cannot vote in this, but the rest of you, use the chat. You're doing great. Like, this is awesome. Hey, AJ, good to have you back, buddy. What is it that Zach Henderson is hitting with a tennis racket? As soon as you know, comment in the chat. First one to comment in the chat with the right answer, you get a free slice of Casey's Pizza. All right, so let's take a look. Well, let's see what people have here.
I did not know what it was. You had to tell me. I actually have seen.
So when you first saw it, you didn't know what
I
it was?
had no idea.
Okay,
no.
I'm looking for the first person that will comment. What is it that Zach Henderson just absolutely annihilated with a
nice
tennis
swing.
racket? Zach likes baseball.
Oh, okay.
Big baseball guy. Well, let's see what it is. So we'll have Jill keep an eye. The first student. I'll tell you this. It's not an apple. It's not a tomato. Okay, I thought this would be a little difficult.
It is kind of hard. They're close.
Yeah.
Are we going to play like hot and cold here?
Yeah, we'll just see. I think our sponsors know what the right answer is, so we'll just kind of wait. Let's see.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Is that Kelly? Is that Kelly? Is that Kelly Tillotson there? The Nation YT there? I don't know who that is. But congratulations, it's strawberries, 100%. You're right. Okay, next thing we're going to do, you need to get up, get stretched out, get limbered up a little bit. We got to move quickly here, okay? We're going to go to the home hunt. You have 30 seconds. Eric's going to have a stopwatch to find this item. We're going to give a couple slices away to the first person who brings this item back, but you've got to text the picture of you and the item to this number. So real quick, get this number. We'll probably just leave it up behind us when we get back here in just a minute. Yep. But you need to go find this item. Now, you could just sit there and do nothing, but you've probably been doing that for a while. So let's get up, have some fun, win some Casey's Pizza, and let's spin the wheel. What do we got here?
Stuffed animal.
Stuffed animal. On your marks.
Ready.
Get set. Go. All right. So we'll see how many people go and get a stuffed animal. Did you have a stuffed animal growing up?
Yeah. Well, see, now you're really going to date me because the only one I can think of off the top of my head was I had a stuffed animal. I don't know if he was considered an animal, but Alf. Do you remember that show?
Elf. No, Alf. It was Alf.
Yeah, no, it was Alf.
Yeah.
Because it stood for something.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what it was.
Oh,
but
it's appropriate.
It was like a puppet, and it was really quite scary.
I do remember you having that.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah.
And then one day, Pastor Jason came over, and I never saw it again. So we'll have to see.
I don't
That's
recall
30
that.
seconds.
So that's time's up. Hopefully we're starting to get people back. Again, you're texting the picture and your stuffed animal to this number. First person. Actually, we got Pastor Brad and Tim running things behind the show tonight. You're actually texting that number. Pastor Brad's receiving it, and we'll see what it is, and he'll let me know who the winner is.
Yep.
Are you good at spelling?
No, not very good at all. Especially ever since spell check came into play. Because now I don't even worry about not spelling something right. I just let it correct it for me.
Yeah, I'm totally reliant on autocorrect, and I kind of panic when I don't have autocorrect. I'm a terrible speller. Turns out a lot of people think they're not good spellers. Last Friday, we did an Instagram poll, and I think there was a little swung more to the no, I'm not a good speller.
Not very good.
And I'm not a good speller. My problem is I get going too fast. I leave words out all the time. But if you've seen any of my youth group outlines, you've noticed that once or twice at least.
Sure.
So this is a game we're called Spell Check, and we're just going to play one round of this, and we're going to spin, and a random word's going to come up, and we're going to leave it on the screen for, what do you guys think? 3 seconds? 3 seconds?
Something like that.
Okay, we'll go 3
right.
seconds. It'll leave the screen immediately, And whoever sponsors, you can't play this game. But thank you for your involvement. Whoever spells it correctly in the chat without Googling it, so a moment of integrity here. Don't Google it and then copy paste it,
Right.
or any other way that you could cheat. You have to use your brain. Okay. That was a little mean. I don't mean it like harsh, but whoever spells the word correctly in the chat, you win a couple slices of Casey's Pizza delivered by probably somebody from Next Up. That's our leadership team.
Oh,
Are you ready? You want to take control
am
here?
ready.
Okay, here we go.
Ready? Let's spin. Comeuppance.
I don't even know what that means. Can we show that one more time? Like, I'm gonna give people another chance. I think it should still be on that same word. So just spin it and hit stop. I don't.
Comeuppance. I feel.
Okay,
like,
take it off. Let's see what student spells it correctly. And by the way, if you have a definition of that,
that'd be great.
I'd love to have a definition. I have no idea
My
what it means.
grandpa uses that term all the time, but I don't know that I know like I have a great definition.
Your grandpa
for it.
uses it?
Oh yeah, comeuppance all the time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Think of what it could be. It could be a disease.
Comeuppance?
Yeah, it could
no,
be a.
comeuppance is. I'm looking at Michael for some help here, but he's not giving me anything.
Pastor Brad, do you have the chat pulled up there on YouTube, or somebody, maybe Jill's got it, so you'll let me know who the winner is.
Is that right?
Cody.
See, we need to know how to
Okay,
spell it.
so let's spell it, and our crew tonight can tell us if we spelled it correctly. I believe, let's just scan here. I believe it's Cody. Cody Neihart.
Was it A-N-C-E? See, now we're getting back to where I'm not a good
Okay,
speller.
here's what Cody spelled. C-O-M, I guess you all can see this, but C-O-M-E-U-P-P-A-N-N-C-E. Is that right?
We don't know.
Can somebody...
We shouldn't be judging him. That was right.
No, that is not correct. Laura Abrahamson is our winner. Somebody give me a definition. I have... Oh, John Veach says you get what's coming to you.
Yeah, come up.
Is that right? Okay, that's the consensus in the room tonight.
Oh,
So,
yeah, only one end.
Laura Abrahamson, man, you know what? I still owe their family pizza from like weeks ago. We're gonna put all that together and we'll figure it out. Okay.
Come up.
Should we do one more just for fun?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we need to.
All right, do one more.
Ready.
Make sure you hit the randomizer there, Pastor Brad, and let's see what word we get here. All right, ready? Spin it. Discombobulated. I know what that one means.
Yeah.
Discombobulated. All right, take it off, and we'll see. We'll have Joe keep track there in the chat of who our winner is. But round one, spell check. Laura Abrahamson, nice job out of you. We love Minute to Win It games here in our student ministry. We've used them for years. I don't know if any of you are old enough to actually watch it when it was live on TV, because I have no idea what years that was. We wanted to play a Minute to Win It game, so we asked a few of our Next Up students if they would play a Minute to Win It game, and we'll see who wins. So let's take a look.
Hey guys, I'm Kenna, and I'm going to be doing the Minute to Win It, but I'm going to do it in 60 seconds.
Hey guys, this is Delaney, and this is my This Blows game. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's Riley, and I'm about to do the Minute to Win It challenge.
We declared Kenna the winner. I don't know that she only understood you had to knock the cups off just one time.
The one time.
She was so fired up. She was going again. And listen, I went back and looked carefully. How it's frozen right now, Riley Trotter, when she uses the air that's in the balloon right there, she actually knocks the rest of them off.
Okay.
And so she barely lost. But Kenna was the winner. So, girls, thanks a lot for doing that. We may throw in another Minute to Win It game and have some volunteers next week, but that was a lot of fun. Again, we love our sponsors. We love our families. We've been saying that now for a number of weeks. And tonight we want to do a sponsor panel. And and we invited a few of our sponsors in. I really wish we could have gotten all of them in, but logistically we just couldn't do it. And I appreciate all of our sponsors, and they've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes for our students. And we had one sponsor who wasn't able to be here tonight, but she wanted to give out a shout out to her small group, so let's take a look at that.
Well, as you all know, and I'm sure all of you think, but the truth is, I have the best small group ever. Delaney, Emma Jackson, Emma Sabala, and Priscilla are a riot. They are the funniest, most adventurous, considerate, and real group of teens I've ever had. I'm so thankful for how flexible they have been this year and switching up the small group we had in years past, and how they have been welcoming to Priscilla and Emma. We've had lots of great times individually, collectively, getting to know each other better, whether it's, runs to Chick-fil-A or long bike rides where we have no idea what we're doing other than dying because it's so windy. I have been very thankful for Delaney and her leadership to the other girls, and just the love that she has for the other three in our group and others in her life. I'm thankful for Priscilla's sensitivity to God, and just the desire to grow and not be complacent there. Thankful for Emma Jackson's deep love for God and desire to know truth and share that with others, and even Emma Sabala's love for all the gifts that God has given her in theater and so many kind things that she shows to us, and her love for people and those around. So it is just the greatest joy to have my small group and get to work with them and be with them week in and week out.
All right, thanks a lot, Kelly, for sending us that video. She is out of town this week, and appreciate her ministry as well as a sponsor, as well as Dakota and Rebecca and John. And I think that's everybody, correct? I think that's everybody, and we're really thankful for all of their ministry. And we've asked a few of them to join in here. Oh, and Tim, I forgot Tim. Tim's doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Tim just left the building. He's not happy with me. No, I had already said Kelly, so I had Tillotson in my brain and forgot Tim there. So we asked a few of them to join tonight, and we're going to do two different rounds of just our panel discussion. This first one just for fun, and we'll kind of rattle off some answers. All but one of these questions tonight was submitted by either a student or parent, so thank you. And if you have a question that you still want to ask, feel free to put that in the chat. And just one moment, let me grab this. I'll give that to Jill here to keep an eye on any of those. And we'd love to have a few more questions submitted. So these are all real simple, fun ones. Let's go real quick here on these. Nancy, favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. Okay, Maddie.
Currently it's watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay. Is that changing?
Yeah.
Okay, it's changing. Makes sense. Jill? Almond cake from Main Street. I could have guessed that one. Michael?
Well, this kind of ruins one of the next questions, but I'm going to go with pancakes.
Oh, well, you've already answered the second question. My favorite food, donuts. Donuts, okay? Favorite ice cream topping, Jill. And you can't say all of them.
Cookie dough.
Okay, Nancy's chocolate. Oh, no, okay. Nancy, what's your favorite ice cream topping?
Golden Oreos or peanut butter.
Okay, Tim, what's your favorite ice cream topping? Caramel. Tim likes caramel. Michael? Oreos. Crumbled or just big?
Crumbled.
Okay. Maddie?
Melted peanut butter.
Melted peanut butter. How do you feel when toppings harden on your ice cream?
I like it. Love
it.
Yeah, love it.
You love it? It's not my favorite. I don't like crunchy in my ice cream unless it's a cotton candy blizzard from Dairy Queen. So, like I don't want an M&M in my ice cream. It's too hard. Did you share yours?
Cookie dough.
Oh, cookie dough, that's right. I will do cookie dough with peanut butter in mine, and that'll be, what do you call it? Not a blizzard at Culver's, a concrete mixer. That's it. All right, there it is. Real quick, pancakes or waffles? Jill?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Waffles.
We already know your answer, pancakes. I'm going to say waffles. I like the squares. I like when the syrup pools up. I like putting peanut butter. I like waffles. What do you think?
I'll eat them both, but
Yeah.
if I had to pick, I mean.
What does Rebecca Anderson say? Waffles or pancakes with abs?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Waffles are pancake. Wait, Yeah, waffles are pancakes with abs. Write that down, kids. Put that in your lesson notes tonight. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life. Now, Maddie would have to pick carefully here because some of those cravings are probably changing a little bit day to day, I'm guessing. Michael, if you eat one food for the rest of your life?
Chicken Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo. Okay. Is that homemade?
Not necessarily.
Are you doing breadsticks with that?
If I can.
Okay. Well, Parmesan?
If that's allowed.
Okay, all right. I don't know if we'll allow breadsticks the rest of your life. Jill, what about you?
I would go pizza. Breakfast pizza, regular pizza, dessert pizza. Definitely pizza. Pizza. Yeah.
So many varieties, though.
Yeah, okay. Nancy, the rest of your life, you get one food for the rest of your life, every day, every meal.
Cake?
White cake, I would assume.
White or almonds, yeah.
Carrot cake.
Oh,
Maddie,
yeah, there's so many kinds.
No, I really like Jethro's wings, like a lot.
Yeah, good one. That's a good one. I'd probably just go McDonald's every day. I do like McDonald's. I'd probably go grilled chicken or steak. Yeah, one of those two. Baked potatoes are good too, but every day.
For breakfast.
I love some of these questions from our students. Favorite shoe brand? Nike. Hello. Jill,
I'm gonna
do you
go
care?
Nike. No, I don't
Okay,
care.
and even I'll say you don't really care, but if you have Nancy?
I don't know. I don't have
Okay, all right.
probably have one.
You too?
I guess.
I wear Brooks all the time. I used them for running in high school.
Oh yeah, good running brand. Very good running brand.
I love my Brooks. I just bought a pair this last year.
Okay, so nice. That's cute, guys. That's really good. I like that. If you could only watch either football or basketball, what would you pick? Basketball. Next question. Oh, just kidding. Nancy, back to you.
Football.
Football. Okay. Maddie.
I understand what's going on in basketball more, so that.
Do you know what offsides is in football?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just checking.
Well, the last 3 games of any sport that I've watched have been like the last 3 Super Bowls. I guess I would pick football. I don't really watch any.
Okay. Jill.
Basketball.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for definitely basketball. Any other no questions
No
yet?
questions
Okay.
yet.
Feel free to submit questions. I know we got a bunch of them already. We're gonna have a hard time getting through, but if something you're dying to know about one of these sponsors, then certainly ask. We'll keep these starting to get a little more serious here. Then we're gonna do a little competition with these two, which I think will be fun. What do you miss most during just this time of isolation, Nance?
People.
Yeah.
People, church, just being together.
And I think that's the majority of what people say because God did not create us to be alone. Yeah. He created us to have relationships of all sorts. Would anybody add something different than people?
I think specifically I miss singing in church.
Yeah.
I'm not a big singer on my own, but I like with the congregation, I guess.
Yeah. Congregational singing is one, definitely. Anything else?
Well, I like greeting people with a hug, and so just like that
I'm
natural.
available. What do you think?
I live with you.
Tim, can you go to a black? No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, but I don't like that. It's not like the most important thing in the world, but it is one thing that just feels different right now. That's hard. So.
I agree with everything. Those all would be top on my list if I were to even take a little bit further. I just was going to things. Going to one of our students' games or athletic events or restaurants. I'll never take for granted sitting in a restaurant ever again. There's a lot of little things. And again, we're not saying that we're starting to be content, but let's be honest. We've all had these thoughts of I miss this, I miss that, and I mentioned last week at the beginning of our lesson, I miss basketball, watching on TV, and God has done a lot of good things. I think we all could say that in just our own walk with the Lord. Let's see, real quick, maybe in 10, 15 seconds. What is something you're learning right now? Can I start with you, Jill?
Sure. Some of the ladies in our church are all reading through the book of Colossians together, which has been really fun. And just one of the things we were talking about this week was just that when Paul prayed for people, he prayed for spiritual needs. Not that it's wrong to pray for physical needs, but what was most important to him was to pray for the spiritual needs of others. So I thought that was cool.
Good. Nance?
I just have been adoring God a lot lately for his faithfulness and how it's easy to have so many different emotions, but get down on yourself, just feel lonely, so many different things. And just this morning, I was reading 2 Timothy, where'd it go? 2 Timothy 2:13 says, if we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. And just thinking about how it goes against his very character to be unfaithful. He's always faithful.
Yeah, that's a great text. You guys, I don't care who wants to go. Why don't you go first?
I liked the reading plan we did on prayer and YouVersion, and I've been thinking more about prayer lately. It's kind of one of those neglected spiritual disciplines, but that's something.
Good. Maddie?
I've just really enjoyed, I'm trying to work on taking every thought captive and preaching truth to myself. And in order to preach truth to myself, I have to know truth. So just thinking through really taking the time to abide in God's word, especially now that I have all this time.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Good. That's really good. You heard a lot of good truth right there. And I'm with you. The prayer devotional challenge, just even outside of like teaching a couple lessons that we did, just on a personal level was very, very helpful. I don't know if I'd call it confidence building or just faith increasing. I don't know, but just the value of prayer when we simply just come before God and we ask. And we ask that His will be done in the matter. We make our requests. We pray for one another. I was greatly challenged and greatly convicted, and yet to know the grace that's available in prayer. Did we get everybody on that one? I think we did.
Yeah.
How about a favorite Bible verse? And it wasn't till I was a senior in high school that I'm like, I don't have a life verse. And I think I've shared this before in youth group. It's Lamentations 3, 22, 23. Sometimes I throw in 24. Sometimes I leave it out. It's a really good passage. I don't always know where to cut it off. It's really, really good passage. It was actually a Sunday night, and it was my senior year in high school, and Pastor Strope had just come to our church as lead pastor 20 years ago. And he preached a phenomenal message out of Lamentations 3. I'm like, that's it. That's my go-to verse that I want to just remember for the rest of my life. There's nothing magical about a life verse, but it's certainly helpful, though, in a lot of ways. What is it that I want to remember most? And of course, Lamentations 3, the setting isn't exactly uplifting. The people are going through some great difficulty and trial. But that's a great one. How about some of you? Maddie, do you have a favorite verse? It doesn't have to be a life verse, but it could be.
I'm going to do it in ESV, and I know it in King James, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It's Psalm 62, 5-7. So, for God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken. I really like that.
That's a great one. How about, let's do one more. Somebody just take it. Who wants it?
Oh, Joshua 1:9, and I'm going to read it so I don't mess it up. Haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
Yeah, great. The one you mentioned, the one I mentioned, the one you mentioned, Maddie, all great passages that remind us of who God is. And I think that's our heart through all of our student ministries, not that you just grow up to do the right things, but that you would know who God is, and because you know Him from His Word, you love Him more and more. We've mentioned this, and Pastor Brad has mentioned this in other places within our church ministry the last couple of weeks, but the Old Testament is great because it reminds us of who God is. I know I only said one more, but did you? I want to hear yours.
I like Psalm 27:4, and I think I shared it in an Instagram post for the youth group.
Yeah.
But it's one thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in His temple. And I think it's a good perspective, remind you of eternity and how temporary everything on this earth is.
Yeah, great passage. We've got a couple more questions that are a bit more serious that we think will be helpful. The first question that we're going to cover here in just a few moments, we're going to have a little bit more fun. It's actually one that we want to talk about as sponsors, and I know for all of our sponsors, this would be something that I know they would give great feedback with. And then we have a couple of the questions that we want to get to that you submitted about even why you guys are involved in our student ministry. I want to talk about some things with the area of self-control, and we'll cover a couple different topics. We can't spend a lot of time on these, obviously, but we're doing pretty well on time, and we want to give some thought to some of these questions. Question here on witnessing, even just about loving siblings well. A lot of really good questions you guys submitted, but what we want to do is we're going to play a game with Michael and Maddie. I don't know if you love Peeps. My wife loves Peeps. I think they're nasty.
I actually don't like the flavored ones. I just like, I have tried a bunch, and I've enjoyed trying all the flavors, but if I'm going to pick one,
I don't know if you guys,
the original.
I think, did we do, this has been before you guys started helping, did we do one of our theme nights for the month? Did we bring in a bunch of our Peeps?
Yes.
I don't remember how that went over, but I don't know that a ton of people love Peeps.
Super fun.
So we're gonna
roast them this summer.
Yeah, we're roasting Peeps.
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
So that's good.
All right, go ahead and bring in their masks.
I've got some
Let's get their
hidden away.
masks on, and let's go to that main slide. We're gonna play Peep Taste Test. And I should have unwrapped those ahead of time. My bad. Just trying to be healthy. So go ahead and put those on. Yes, throw it anywhere. It's fine. Erica's going to serve up with gloves It's like the first time I've seen Eric in food gloves, so this is good. He's going to serve up one. They're going to take a bite, and they're also going to need clipboards here in just a moment, and they're going to have to write down their answer, what they think it is. We'll show the answer here in just a moment. Are you guys blindfolded completely?
No.
Okay, Maddie's still working on it here. Okay.
All right, we're good.
You promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm even closing my eyes just to be safe.
So let's see. Let's give them go ahead and give them the first round of peeps. Let's go ahead and show them what it is. Now, none of us say it because they'll obviously hear it. Here's the first one. Okay, audience, you're seeing what it is. They're going to take a bite, give their plates back to Eric. He'll exchange it with clipboards. They have to write down their answers. We'll see how they did. Okay, do you guys feel comfortable?
Do we eat one of the two or both
Just
of
take
them?
a little bite.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. We're going to play one more round. All right, go ahead.
Take it now.
Yeah.
Enjoy hearing me chew.
Okay, so Eric is going to take your plates, and then he's going to give you a clipboard. Boy, we're asking Eric to
They have
do double duty.
draw
You don't have to draw, just say what it is. Just write down what it is blindfolded.
Oh, that should be easy.
Yeah, I just a little extra layer of fun here.
There we go.
All right.
I don't know. I've tasted it before.
Okay.
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay. You have 5
Wait,
seconds.
can I change it?
Yes, you
I
can
don't know
change
where
it.
it's at, but
I can see where you're writing.
I don't have anything to write. It tastes. I don't want to say that.
Okay.
Wow, I'm impressed
just
by
just pick something. Pick a fruit.
Maddie's
Pick a
handwriting
pick a candy.
blindfolded is
Pick a I don't
better
know.
than
I'm
mine
just gonna
normal.
say what it reminded me of.
I'm just hoping you're able to read it.
Okay, so turn your take your blindfolds off. Turn your answers around. The right answer is on the screen in front of you. Show them your answers. Show the camera.
So
cereal. What cereal did it taste like?
I couldn't think of the kind of cereal, but I don't think I eat cotton candy cereal.
Okay.
So I don't know what I was thinking.
Maddie at first with original, but then it's like, nope, it's cotton candy. So
Had the
plus
aftertaste.
plus one to Maddie. All right, put your blindfolds back on. You probably just leave your clipboards there. And we'll do one more round. Of course, we have a tiebreaker if Maddie wins this one. Let him get them on, then we'll show the audience
We
here.
won't need the tiebreaker.
Oh, I don't know if your mic
competitive
picked up
nature.
your trash talk there, but
No, I said we won't need
in her favor. Okay. All right, go ahead and show the next one. All right, audience, you see it there on the screen. Serve them up here. Eric is playing co-host and chef, not chef, waiter. All right, you got it. When you're ready, go ahead and take a bite. And then when you're ready to write your answer, if it takes too long, I'll give you a 5-second warning. Okay, you can give your plates back to Eric, unless you need it for a sample bite, or if you liked it and you want another bite. Just thinking through it.
I feel like
Yeah, you don't have any way to clear the palate in between. That's what makes it.
That's hard.
It gets probably a little more challenging each round. All right, if Maddie gets this right, she's winner.
Oh boy.
If you get this
I
right,
don't even know where to write.
You're
Is it up here
close. Yeah,
okay?
close enough.
yeah,
close
good
enough.
I don't know.
All right, show me your answers. Oh, we have original and popcorn. All right, Maddie, take your mask off.
Kettle corn, maybe?
It was party cake.
They tasted buttery.
Okay, it's buttery.
It's like, this
The
is
cake part?
Do you want to do one more? Or are you good?
One
What do you
more.
think? You're technically up. Do you
Okay.
Want to call it there?
We'll,
It's up to you
we'll
guys.
do one more. If I want to win, I want to really win. So.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Little husband and wife trash talk. Get the puppies in order. I love it. That's great. Oh man. Let's see. All right. Eric is getting it out. I wish you guys could see behind the scenes.
Oh wait,
All right,
I don't need that yet.
Here it goes. All right.
Oh, this one will be
I
good.
won't mess with you, but I kind of want to, but I won't. All right, when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh, she was confident on that one.
Well, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, when you're ready, just go ahead and Eric's there. All right, thanks, Eric. Got your answers?
No, that's tough.
I don't know how to spell this word. I'm just gonna parentheses dot.
What's going on with the...
Huh. All right, go ahead, take your mask off and show the audience your answers. We have blueberry and
Blue raspberry.
blue raspberry. Sour watermelon. Can you confirm, was that actually the kind that was on the wrapper?
That French?
Sour watermelon?
Sour with an I.
Okay. So, Maddie, you're the winner. Congratulations. Thanks for playing along. We've got another segment here, 60 seconds with Pastor Jason. So let's take a look.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We are back with a third episode of 60 Seconds with Pastor Jason. I am with Brexton Jordan. Brexton, do you want to give a shout out today?
I want to give a shout out to my small group, and I just want to say quack.
All right, here we go. Tell us your age, grade, and school, and how long you've attended there.
I'm 14. I'm in 8th grade, and I attend Grandview Christian, and I've been there since 6th grade.
Favorite athlete?
Chipper Jones.
Favorite hobby?
Sports.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
Chick-fil-A.
Mountain Dew or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Do you have a nickname?
B. Jammin.
What video game are you best at?
No one's ever beat me in MLB Road to the Show.
Random fact about you.
I can do a front flip and out of backflip.
What's been your favorite family vacation?
When we went to Hawaii for Christmas a couple of years ago.
Do you have a favorite book?
Probably one of Harry Potter's.
Favorite TV show?
Probably Gravity Falls.
If you could do anything for an entire day, what would it be?
Oh, I would totally go deep sea fishing.
Which would you rather do, wash dishes or mow the lawn?
Mow the lawn.
Clean the bathroom or vacuum the house?
Clean the bathroom.
If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Number 1 from Chick-fil-A.
That's great. Good job, Brexton. You did awesome. Thanks for being a part of another 60 Seconds with Pastor Jason. We'll see you later.
For another 60 seconds. We've got another one lined up for this next week, but I'd love to take a few more. So if you're interested in that, send me a text even tonight. That would be awesome. Brexton said a shout out to his small group. He said quack, and Tim laughed. Tim's a small group leader. Tim laughed. I can't wait to find out the story behind that. I forgot to ask Brexton that, but he said if he could do one thing, he'd go deep sea fishing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And what was the two options? Vacuum the house or clean the bathroom?
Vacuum the house.
You go vacuum the house?
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
What would you guys do?
Yourself out of a room.
That's right.
You go bathroom. Well, you work at camp, so that probably. I got to announce our winner from the home hunts. One guess of who you think it is, quickly. Who do you think won the home hunt? If you saw my paper, you are now out of this contest.
I did not see. Sadie.
Okay.
Delaney.
Sadie, Delaney.
I was going to say Delaney.
Eli.
I was going to say Delaney.
Okay.
Zach definitely had it with him.
It was Sadie Long. Congratulations. A couple slices of Casey's Pizza. Sadie she's got a pretty good winning record here. Some of you need to step up your game and compete with Sadie, which reminds me of one of my favorite competing stories with Sadie. I think I just shared this not too long ago. You guys will recognize the story. A few of you will who are listening. I'll just have to say 3 words. Sadie, Sam, Peru. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I need to find that picture again, and maybe we'll do that tomorrow for Throwback Thursday. All right, we want to take one more segment before we send you off in your small groups and just talk a little bit more about some serious questions. Serious might be a little heavy, just some real questions that you've submitted. We're going to start with one that we first wanted to address, and Nance, I think I'm going to go to you first. The question is simply this: you go back to your teenage years. What would you do differently? And I want to first talk about with your walk with the Lord, just the personal disciplines, maybe youth group. Maybe take just a few moments. And what would you do if you go back and relive your teenage years? What would you do?
A couple things, I think. One would be to be way more serious about devotions. Like, I didn't grow up really knowing even how to do to study the Bible for myself.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely change that. I wish I had just even had more instruction or just guidance on what that looked like as a teenager. I didn't necessarily have a lot of that. And one other thing I think is, even when I look back to actual high school, being in school, I think my classmates knew I was different, but I don't know how upfront I was about why I was different. They knew I didn't go to parties and all that kind of thing, but I'm not sure how many of them would say they knew why necessarily.
Yeah.
So I wish I could go back and change that and just be more upfront about why I was living the life I was.
I want to just piggyback a question on there. We here regulate our small groups, just the reality of peer pressure. Maybe just briefly, how much was peer pressure a part of your influence in your walk with the Lord, for good or for bad? Maybe I'll throw that to you. How much was peer pressure a part of your life, your teenage years? And how much did it influence you?
I would say it wasn't so much peer pressure as it was, and maybe these are the same things, but more the just desire to be accepted. So maybe that is peer pressure. I think I was influenced a ton by not so much being influenced to do the wrong things, but just really doing dumb things to try to be accepted by people. And so I would say that was probably something that was way more of an issue than being around the wrong people and doing stuff because of that.
Let me throw it over to Maddie here, and then we'll maybe go to one of you on one of these other questions. How about for you? Like, what was the reality of peer pressure for you? And one of the things why it's nice having a panel, and again, I wish we could get all of our sponsors up here. Everyone has such a unique context that probably somebody watching relates to. Everyone may not relate to me and my upbringing or Nancy, but maybe it's Michael, or maybe it's Tim or John or whoever. And it's one of the reasons why we want to do sponsor panel. And I love the different contexts. So none of these questions are necessarily tailored for any one of us, but each get to speak of just our own context of growing up. So just speak briefly just to the reality of peer pressure, maybe how much it influenced your walk with the Lord.
Yeah, I would say it influenced it really heavily, especially just not living out my faith in front of those. I was public schooled, so it was really hard for me to go in there, and I felt like I was kind of living this two-faced Christian life where I go home and I can be who I want to be and be the person, like be somebody who actually loves the Lord, and then I go to school and it's like I just want to get through unscathed, you know, and just
survive.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was kind of it was huge.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned public school.
I am super thankful for my three best friends in high school. We all went to church together. And so one girl went to Grandview, the other three of us all went to public school together, and that was a huge blessing.
Yeah.
And something that I look back on and am super thankful for, that I had those Christian friends, and we really stuck together through high school, and that was a huge blessing for sure.
And that's same for me. My youth group, and I try to speak this as often as possible, my youth group was huge for me. I'm kind of a combo. I was private school, public for most of it, and the last little bit of high school I was in a Christian school, and each of us had their unique challenges. You were public school.
Yeah.
You were homeschooled. Everybody's homeschooled right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a homeschooler.
Homeschooled, but then junior high.
Yeah,
you
eighth
started
grade I started.
8th grade on?
Yep, 8th grade to graduation.
Public school?
So I was public school the first 2 years, homeschooled for 5 years, so then 7th through high school I was back in public school.
Okay. And you mentioned public school as well.
Yes, all the way through.
A variety of upbringings, and each of those have their unique influences. But just what you've said already, the value of even Christian friends, the value of why youth group and just being there is so important, because not only do you need a friend like that, but the odds are somebody needs you to be a friend like that. And sometimes it's the people that we don't expect that we come to love the most. Yeah. We talked about that at Winter Blast, by the way. Just the beauty of the gospel is that we can have nothing in life that's common, but if we have Jesus, we have what's most important. Does anybody else want to speak to, if you go back to your teenage years, what you do differently with the Lord? Just in your own walk with the Lord?
I think I would have just even leaned into just getting to know my Bible better. I don't even, I went to Faith Baptist Bible College.
How intimidating was the Bible for you as a teenager?
It was intimidating, and I would just get kind of off track on, reading in Revelation and asking crazy questions about the future, which is not wrong, but just I think about the fact that I never even read the Bible cover to cover until I had to in college, and so like even just stuff that maybe we didn't understand and everything that we read, I still don't understand everything that I read, but just that discipline of getting your eyes in front of God's Word, I wish I would have done more of that at a younger age.
Okay. Anyone else want to add anything to that? I think all of our answers have been really helpful. I love what you said there about just getting to know God's Word. Sometimes we could just use God's Word from what we can get, feel great about my devotions, got that, that quick little sound bite that now I can go out and I got a verse that I can tweet or whatever it might be, but to just know God's Word, to understand what's there, because knowledge isn't the end game, it's knowing God. And teenagers are smart, like super smart. They blow me away. I think most of our youth group is probably smarter than me. And the Bible can be intimidating or dull or boring, but if you just give yourself to it, you've all walked that path already of, we've all had that time in the teenage years where we just weren't engaged and wanting to know more about the Bible. But now we're getting on that other end where we see the beauty of it, and the reward, so to speak, is amazing. I do want to go to the next one here. We want to do all that we can to just continue to partner and support our parents. And I think this next question could be very helpful. And Michael, if I could start with you, if that's okay. Going back to our teenage years as sponsors, what would you do different with the relationship we have with your parents? And I don't know the relationship that all of you had, whether it was great or not. I necessarily wanted to point out the negative things, but more your role as son or daughter. What would you go back and do differently with the relationship with your parents?
Yeah, one of the things that I wish I would have done a little better is communicating with my parents.
Everybody catch that? Communicate. More than one word answers. We know that your day was fine. Why was it fine? Okay, back to you.
The elaboration is good, and also like a lot of teenagers, I had my own car and my own schedule, so it would have been better to just initiate that conversation with them instead of them needing to ask me all the time.
Yeah.
Because now, like, I'm in college on my own, married, and one of the great joys I have is being able to ask my parents for advice and like hear their wisdom. That's something I could have taken advantage of more often in high school. I didn't really.
Sure.
Do it, so.
Maddie, what about you?
Just wishing I had more of a heart of service toward my parents. There were a lot of circumstances where I was taking care of my mom most of my life, and it just kind of, I had a bad attitude about it, and there was bitterness that built up, and just wanting and praying for that heart of service to actually be there for my parents, help my dad, help my mom, and actually crave that and want that. I think it would have helped the relationship a lot more.
I want you two to answer that here in just a moment. Well, let's do some quick fire here. Serving your parents. What is one practical way that we can encourage our teenagers to serve their parents, their families? Who wants to go first? Just real quick fire here. I didn't prompt them ahead of time here on this one. What's a way that you could just serve your parents?
Make supper.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Cook.
What would you say?
Pick up the house. I think just without being told, or do it right away. Yeah. Do it right away when asked.
Yeah.
Would be. Yeah.
Okay.
Helping with younger siblings.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Loving your younger siblings well goes a long way to just demonstrate love to your parents. And you mentioned serving already, which is a great one. I think sometimes we forget the people that we live the closest with are the ones that we need to really serve the most. And there's other ways beyond just some simple things that are off the top of our head that certainly we could come up with. And even just initiating spiritual conversation, it would be serving them well. Sitting down with them. And I know a number of you do. You enjoy sitting down with your parents, and that's a huge blessing for your parents. What about the two of you, relationship with parents? And we'll quickly get to these next two here.
I guess I would just say communication.
Yeah.
Being better at communicating.
Okay.
I have great parents, and really I have a great relationship with my parents. I've been very blessed. My parents were very supportive, and we talked a ton, and so I don't have a lot of regrets in retrospect, but I think I probably could have been more open with them about just internally what was going on in my life. I just shared tons of, here's what I did today, and just kind of the daily things, but I probably could have done a much better job of pushing past here's what happened today to here's what I'm worrying about, or here's what I'm struggling with, like just pushing past the just everyday stuff of life. I probably could have done a much better job with that.
I think that's a super valuable question. Relationship with parents in the teenage years can be very tricky. It can be very weighty, I think, for moms and dads. And just to help our teenagers see the value of the family, not just our youth group family, but their actual family, I think is something that we want to continue to emphasize. I want to move to this next one. It's the area of self-control, which is a fruit of the Spirit, by the way, just a quick reminder there. Let me just ask our panel here quickly, what are maybe some areas that we excuse and we don't lack control? And we'll maybe explain here a little bit of why self-control is important, so don't go anywhere. This is a really valuable question. The believer, the one who knows Jesus Christ by faith, and I don't assume all that are listening know Christ by faith, but if you've come to a point where you've recognized that you're a sinner and you realize that only Jesus alone can save, and you put your faith and trust in Him, for those of you who claim Christ, that we're called to practice self-control and not live by our desires. What are maybe some areas of life that we excuse lacking self-control? What do you think?
for me, the first thing that comes to mind is what we watch. TV, movies. I think we watch way more than what we should.
Yeah.
What we
should.
think is like socially acceptable ends up being the standard instead of submitting it to what God would want us to be watching.
Yeah.
And we've had these conversations before, and the reason even in saying that is because of what it does to the heart. In no way would we, any of us, want to perpetuate a Christianity or promote a Christianity that's just merely a list of rules. Don't do this, don't do that, don't watch that, don't listen to this, but this and this. That's not the point at all.
Yeah.
But the Bible's clear that what we bring into the ears and the eyes affects the mind, which affects the heart, and that's all connected.
It's hard to forget.
It is.
When you've seen something, it's hard to, you can't unsee something.
I honestly, I get a little concerned with binge watching. Whether it's Netflix or Disney Plus, or even, it can be sports.
Yeah.
It can be a whole variety of things. But it's one that we say, it's not that big a deal. I can just kind of do whatever. And especially now that we have more time than ever.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one. What else would you add? Maybe areas that we kind of just excuse. It's not that big a deal.
I'd maybe say complaining. I mean, that's something the Bible says.
For sure.
Don't complain.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I was talking to my grandma on the phone the other day, and what I thought was just normal conversation. My grandma was talking about, she's in the age bracket that's in danger of getting coronavirus or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought she was just making conversation. She's like, you know what, I shouldn't be complaining. I didn't even think about that. So I'm a little more sensitive to that than I was.
That's a good one. There's actually a stretch even in Numbers that talks actually about the Israelites complaining and the big deal that it was. And we see that in the New Testament and then a variety of other places in the New Testament that talk about our words. I mean, gossip, complaining, on down the line is an area that we don't often lack self-control. Last week we talked about time, and we kind of alluded to that maybe even a little bit with what you were saying with movies. But what else would you add? Maybe areas that we just kind of say, it's not that big a deal. I'll just kind of follow whatever here.
I'd say emotions is a big one right now, when people will justify it and say, oh, well, I just had such a hard day, and so that's why I lashed out, or that's why I'm acting this way. I feel like that's a lot of times excused when Scripture talks about a lot, like it's in Proverbs, where they talk about basically the man who can has the self-control to, I think it's like, I'm gonna botch it, but basically control his emotions is stronger than he who takes a city. Like, it's, I don't know, it's really encouraging to just realize, and I feel like we get more and more into that, especially today, where it's like, oh, yeah, you just need a pat on the back, but no, actually, you just need to tie up your bootstraps and go do your job. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great passage that you mentioned there. The idea of the one who cannot control his emotions, and Proverbs even talks about anger. You're like the city with the wall, just like you said, the cities that have been busted down, and there's no protection. Your emotions they run wild. Did you mention one?
No, I would say what you talked about last week, time management is obviously, that one's a really hard one for me sometimes, and so it is a area of self-control. I think sleep, and for me it's the other end where I can justify a lot of times just kind of feeling like it's all on me and I've got to do this, and so I will even just not get enough sleep.
Going to bed on time?
Going to bed on time is a really hard one for me. I can stay up, whether it's for selfish reasons or I've not spent my time well today, so now I'm working on stuff at night. And so I think that, and I think along with emotions, just your mind, where you allow your mind to wander, and just disciplining your mind is actually a good practice that we should be doing. And then can I steal the one that
I want to talk about that one here. Let me speak to that just a moment. There is one specific area that we want to get into, the area of self-control, that maybe isn't often talked about, but the Bible does, certainly in a lot of ways. One of the reasons why we're talking about self-control is if we look at the Bible and we understand as a believer our role, Jesus is master, and the Bible says I'm slave. And that is a really powerful relationship word picture. I don't know how to best say it there. Jesus is master, I am slave. And that's not a drudgery. Jesus talks about the joy that comes when we abide in him. Or Psalm 119, all of the joy of listening to God's commands and his laws, is all the things that Psalm 119 says. We're talking about self-control at a heart level because our desires can rule us. And we want our desires to line up with Jesus, and so that he's in control of our life, and we spend the life that he purchased with his own blood. We want to spend that well. So again, this self-control is not about becoming a more spiffy, shiny, outward Christian. It's about the affection of Jesus in our life. And we are wired with emotions, we're wired with desires, and it's amazing what can rule us. So I want to talk about our bodies. Now, we could talk about what we do to our bodies. There's a lot of areas that we could go with this. We could talk about the area of purity, which I think is really important in our day. We could talk about what we put into our body, drunkenness, alcohol, just eating poorly or whatever. But a few of our students wanted to know a little bit about the issue of basically the idol of food. And it's a little sensitive to talk about, but it's the issue of gluttony. And we want to be very careful with how we handle that. I want to just quickly, before I forget, there are two really helpful resources that talk about really just the question that we ask. What are some areas that we excuse not having self-control? This one is really good. It's called Killjoys, and it's the 7 deadly sins, and it gets into some of this. It actually has a chapter that's very easy to read, very short, about self-control. Super helpful resource, even dealing with the issue of food. Another one is called Respectable Sins, and I tore the cover, that's why it's really plain. Respectable Sins by Jerry Bridges. Both of these books, Killjoys and Respectable Sins, a teenager can digest and understand very easily, but he even walks through a number of those areas that we just let go of at times and think, complaining and gossip, not that big a deal. What I watch, anger, envy, all of those places that we don't have self-control or we struggle in, he deals with. Very helpful, especially the chapters on the issue of the idol of food. I'm going to just leave that open. Where would you begin, and we want to keep an eye on the time here, but where would you begin to build a biblical understanding of the idol of food? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about something that's become an idol of the heart. Who wants to jump in first?
I'll jump in first just so I can. I just thought about this question really just personally, how do I struggle with this? Because I know that I do. And I think the churches sometimes, maybe not the church at large, but we almost feel a little sheepish talking about it because, negative body image and all these different hot topics or issues. It makes it almost hard to talk about what should our relationship be with food as Christians. And I would say one thing that I really struggle with is honestly just not turning to food when I'm tired or when I've had a hard day or something like that. There's a real emotional struggle, I think, that goes on if something has not gone well or if my mind is not disciplined. I feel like that's an opportunity for me to sometimes just turn to, instead of turning to the Lord, I'm first turning to just a comfort or something like that. So I would say that would be a real practical way where sometimes that can happen. And sometimes I know that I've eaten way too much and I just don't care and I'm just going to do it because I want to.
And specifically what we're talking about here, again, we want to be very clear about this. Specifically, we're looking at where we've now looked to something, and in this case, we're talking about food and the abuse of food, and we're looking for something. It's an escape, which often can be the very entry point to becoming alcoholic. I'm looking to escape my circumstances, my job, my difficulty, my financial, whatever. You're talking about how food can become an escape, and so it's not only how much I eat, but even I'm looking to
why I'm doing it.
Now, again, the Bible is also very clear that there's a lot of feasts in the Bible. So there's nothing wrong with occasionally just enjoying food.
Yeah.
Like, it's a gift of God. But like any gift, we can abuse it.
Well, and I wake up in the morning, I'm tired, and I grab a cup of coffee. I'm not saying that that's sinful, but I'm just saying if it just depends on your heart motive of why you're overdoing it sometimes with those types of things.
Let me get maybe one more input on this area. Anybody else who wants to jump in? And I want to just maybe share two texts. Quickly look at our last question, and we need to wrap up. I don't think either you want to address that, or I know a lot of those thoughts are probably similar. Anything you'd add?
Well, just one passage that comes to my mind
please.
is in 1 Corinthians, where Paul, quoting philosophers of that day, all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. So sometimes it is okay, like you're allowed to eat. It's not like it's not okay, but is that really what's best? Is that going to make you depend on God more when you turn to food? Or is there something else you can turn to? Even if it is not a sin, that's not necessarily the question you want to ask.
And there's some great things. Discernment we're talking about. Why am I looking to escape? What am I trying to What am I trying to find?
I think we look for satisfaction
Yeah.
in food and a million other things that we can look for satisfaction in apart from the Lord. And like I said, our emotions can drive us to so many different things, and food is just one of many.
Yeah.
And food is a good thing that God's given us to enjoy,
Right.
like you said. I mean, there's some really awesome things about food, and it's a good gift that God has given us, and we're really talking about the abuse of that. We're not trying to say, don't enjoy your almond cake.
Oh, because we will enjoy our almond cake.
I feel like our first segment was all about food.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, we understand the reality of video and the medium in which we're communicating.
Right.
We could be easily misunderstood, and we're talking about where food has become an idol of the heart, where you're looking for satisfaction, you're looking to escape, you're not even taking care of your body, I think is something I think about. I want to just quickly, 2 texts. Galatians 5:24, those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. A great text for this whole issue of self-control. I love even the metaphor of John 6:32. Jesus is the bread of life. And not just because it's a nice food metaphor, but it's a reminder that Jesus alone satisfies. There's a number of other places that we could go to. Of course, we know 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 19, that the context is sexual purity, but I think it still has application. And it says this, don't you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you are bought with a price, so therefore glorify God with your body. And I think that's first in the area of sexuality, but certainly extends to just how we take care of our body, that we are not our own, that we belong to Christ. And so even taking care of our body, we could go on this, and I wish we had more time to talk about this. We need to quickly ask this question. I think it's really helpful. Siblings. Great. These are great questions, by the way. So many good questions. Maybe we'll have to do this again some other time. But let's look at this. How would you help a sibling open up to you more because you want to become closer to them? We have a ton of kids, a ton of families who have younger or older siblings. All of you siblings? Yep. Okay. And same here. So I think you understand the context here that here's a sibling, wants to grow closer with another sibling. How would you go about that? Because we understand that sometimes siblings always aren't open up to wanting to be around the other sibling. Younger, older dynamic, gender, you name it. I don't know, what do you say?
I would just say, I think it all starts with a steady, an actual foundation of trust in any relationship. But especially with your siblings, if you're sitting there and saying, hey, I just really want to hear about what you're struggling with, but then you turn around and you're treating them terribly the next minute, they're not going to trust you to really, or want to open up to you in that way. And I think that's huge, is just coming to them and showing them through actions, but also with your words that, no, I want to be here for you, and I want this kind of relationship. And so I think that trust is huge.
It's good. Good. I'll come back to something you said just a moment. What else?
I was thinking kind of along the same lines, but you love your siblings, but do you like them?
Yeah.
And do they know that you like them? Do you act like you like them?
Make it obvious.
Make it obvious. Be interested in things that they're interested in. Spend time with them on purpose, not because you're forced to.
Right.
Just actually be involved in their life.
One of the things I really appreciated, I have an older sister, and we're just 2 years apart, and I was always thankful in high school she would let me hang out with her, and she and her friends, when she was in college, she would let a friend and I come up on a Wednesday night and go hang out with her. And just the fact that she didn't, treat me like I just didn't belong with her because I was younger, I always really thought that was cool. And I think if you're a younger sibling interacting with an older sibling, just look for ways to serve them, to encourage them, just like any relationship. Lots of time, lots of go and do something that interests them. I mean,
that's good.
Things that they enjoy, don't make it about you and what you want to do. Figure out what they like and do that with them.
That's good. It's kind of a little bit of that building trust and offering yourself to what does they enjoy, and let's go do that. And again, that may feel a little cheesy or whatever, but I think thinking, how can I be the person to them that I want them to be to me? And offering yourself to them, serving them, going out of your way to do what they like. Would you add anything else to that answer?
Yeah, I was really thinking along the lines of doing the things that they want to do instead of using them for the things you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think just being patient too, like if you really desire that relationship with your sibling, it may not happen overnight. And
Right.
sometimes I think we're like, okay, we've got an hour, bare your soul to me. That's not how it works.
Right.
And so God's going to develop that relationship. And then I think even praying that God would help you with that God would pray that you would grant that desire of your heart, that you would be close and yeah.
Hey, do you want to add something?
I was just
Yeah,
gonna
please.
say, and I think asking yourself, is there any unconfessed sin in this area? Because in the same way, like I feel like my relationship with the Lord is hindered when there's unconfessed sin. If there's a sin, or you're treating your sibling badly or holding bitterness or something, I think when you go to them and actually ask for that forgiveness, that's a huge step in the right direction too. But if you're holding it, there's always something between you.
I appreciate what all of you have said because really you've gone back to foundational biblical principles with relationships. It's patience. It's serving when you don't get anything in return. It's loving and not expecting anything in return. We could go on and on about some of these questions, and again, maybe I'll have to do this again. Here's some of the other questions that were asked, and we won't have time tonight, but people want to know, why are you involved in our youth ministry? I think it's a great question. Even when you're witnessing, sharing Christ, is it more important to focus on Christ or the trustworthiness of the Bible or reasons for a creator? That's a great question. Would you change anything about our youth group? Why or why not? And this is we had a question about what is legalism? Great questions that were submitted. Thank you. We want to get to some of these more later on, and maybe as we, hopefully in the near future, are meeting back together in person, we take a night in youth group and we get all of our sponsors and we walk through some of these questions. I think this has been really helpful, and thank you to each of you for being here tonight and offering some thought and getting some thoughts even ahead of time. Very valuable, I know it is for our student ministry. I need to give a few announcements. And tonight what we're going to do in small groups is really going to focus on praying together. There might be a couple other things that your sponsors will do. That'll be just dependent upon how much time that you have. And we want you to go to Zoom after this. So valuable. If we just did YouTube Live and we didn't have a spot to interact in a closer way, then we would really be missing it. And so thanks for jumping on Zoom after this. It's the same, I believe it's the same link that we've been using week to week. If you're not sure, if you haven't, text your sponsor and they can get it to you. It was also texted out yesterday in a text blast. Next thing here, let's see. Alaska requirements have started, and don't forget Romans 12:4 is due this Sunday, as well as reporting requirements. And again, all of those links have been sent out, and they're all in our Instagram bio. All right, next thing here. Yep, that's our slide there of our website that we've been used for requirements and reporting and all of that. We do not have Instagram Live tomorrow, 10:15 Sunday morning. We're going to jump on Instagram Live about a half hour before our service starts, maybe talk a little bit about mission trip, maybe why we're excited, maybe some things about Proverbs. We'd love to have you get on Instagram Live as a way just to get you ready for our ABC at Home service. So that'll be Sunday morning, 10:15 Instagram Live. Didn't get to this last weekend. We just ran out of time. The hope is this weekend you have a little challenge with your family. Photo scavenger hunt, really simple. Win a gift card. Could be a lot of fun with you and your family, because I think we want to help you take all that you can to maximize time with your family. This could be a fun, simple thing to do this weekend. And lastly, I am going to be looking for volunteers for next week. And I will take as many as logistically possible to say, I will be involved, Pastor Jason, in your Bean Boozled challenge. What is Bean Boozled? Many of you know what it is. I've got mine right here. I referenced this on Zoom not too long ago. A bunch of jelly beans, different flavors, but they look the same. One might taste like cotton candy, and the other one might taste like barf. You don't know until you taste it. So what I'm going to do is we will deliver 2 jelly beans, and we don't know if they're both good or both bad, or it's one of each, but you're going to record yourself taking a bite of that, and we get to view your response, and we'll pile them all together. So if you want to be a part of the Bean Boozled Challenge for our next week Youth Group Live, then reach out to me by tomorrow afternoon, evening at the latest. If I don't hear from very many of you, I'll probably send a text out to you, but that'd be a lot of fun. What else do I have here? Is that it? We want to get on small groups. And again, thanks for being a part of tonight, and we hope that praying together in your small groups tonight will be an encouragement to one another. So we'll see you in a little bit on Zoom.